Welcome to the Liverpool Connection podcast. I'm here with Master Chris Delcross, Master Steve Wilson.
We've been promoted.
The Premier League is back.
Yes.
Finally, the summer has been full of wildfires, political madness, chaos. The football is back. The Premier League is back. There's a bunch of new rules. And what we're going to do, we're going to just talk about everything that we expect, everything that's happened, transfers, because we know that's what everyone wants to hear about, and our predictions for the season. So, Wilson, I will start with you. How are you feeling? You excited?
I'm always excited about going into a new Premier League season, man. You know, you guys know me. I'm an eternal optimist. I think the Reds are going to win every fucking game, every trophy. That's not reality, but that's the way I always go into the new season. I'm excited. I'm always excited to see new players come to the team and wear that red shirt and kick it off, man. So, yeah, I'm ready to. And, you know, the season starts with a pretty tasty matchup. You know, usually we've been going up against teams that have been, like, promoted or bottom of the table teams from previous, but we're playing Chelsea this first game, and I think that's a good way to start the season and get it kicked off.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. Yeah, like every year. Looking forward. Glad to have it back. I will say though, there was a bit of football during the summer. I'm enjoying the Ladies World Cup.
You're enjoying England? They're doing really well.
I was just about to ask you about that. Yeah. You know, it might finally come home. It might finally come home.
Legend, mate. Well done. I see that.
I was going to save that to the end to ask you a little bit about it.
Yeah, it is. That's good.
But no, good to have Liverpool back. Excited about the season. Nervous about the season. Angry about the season. So all sorts of emotions leading into this new.
I mean, it's good to change it up, right? So Thursdays.
Yeah.
It's the new Tuesday and Wednesdays. Thursdays.
Yeah, I won't be clashing with Coronation Street.
Well, yeah.
You'll be able to watch Coronation Street and a bit of football on Thursday.
Have you figured out like your work schedule now? Because you have to change things up now. Like Thursday.
Yeah,
being in Austin, Texas, Thursday afternoon is now the new sick.
Yeah, it's kind of the time where you professional development time.
Yeah, right.
Meetings. Yeah. The professional development.
I'm busy from 2 to 4 p.m. Sorry.
I'm actually heading.
You can get away with saying my weekend starts on a Thursday rather than Tuesday.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier then.
It is a little bit better. It's slightly better. So, last season, disappointing, of course. We're in the Europa League, extremely disappointing. And now we get into the transfer window is not over yet, right? And you don't want to call things before the end of something, but we have signed 2 players so far.
2 good players.
Szoboszlai, McAllister, brilliant.
Yeah,
both
two very good signings.
Talented in different ways. But we've let 11 go. If you include the 4 loans that have gone, and, you know, Firmino is gone, Fabinho is gone, Henderson's gone, Milner, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Keita, and then the loans with Carvalho, Sepp van der Berg, Ramsey, and I'm sure I'm missing one. But we've only signed 2, and we've brought Bradley back on loan. So we've let 11 go, 3 have come in. That's extremely concerning, considering the season is about to start Sunday, and we look at the squad that we have, so light, and it's a worry.
So here you've got. So this is going to be a funny one because we didn't even set up like this on purpose, but you're going to have an angel on one shoulder and you're going to have the devil on the other shoulder.
So am I the angel then?
So you can.
Okay,
you can go
my question that I asked everyone
is
our squad better starting this season than it ended last season?
No. It's
Why?
Infinitely worse.
It's not even
No,
close.
what are you talking about? Our midfield's better with those 2 additions. Our midfield is better than the midfield that left.
We've lost our captain. And
he
a
hardly-
world class number
He was
six.
not. I said the team that was at the end of last season. He was not world class number 6 at the end of last season, and neither was Hendo world class at the end of last season. We brought 2 players that upgraded those 2 positions.
So hold up a minute. So you're saying no? You're saying that this squad is better than the squad that ended last season?
Yes.
Okay. Please name the starting midfield on Sunday.
We had this discussion. If it's Curtis Jones or Harvey Elliott and those 2 lads, that's better than what we had at the end of last season.
That's better
That
than
couldn't run
that's
up
better-
and down the field. Yes, that's better than Hendo and Fabinho at the end of
and
last
Curtis
season.
Jones.
So you guys seem to forget that at the end of last season, everybody was ready to sell Fabinho, to get Henderson out of there. But now it's like, these 2 players that we signed are upgrades to those 2 players. It just is.
Neither of them are number 6s.
Our midfield
No,
will
one
be
of them
better.
are-
Our
no, one of them
midfield
are
will.
number
It doesn't matter. Fabinho could hardly even turn around last season. Adding those 2 players in the midfield makes that midfield better. You put Jones in there or Elliott next to them.
Fabinho
We're
had
gonna
a
be-
bad 6 months. I will.
And that's what I'm just. And that was my
he
question.
Extremely poor.
This
for
this
6
team.
months. But the final 4-5 months of the season, he wasn't horrible.
Dude, people were ready to sell him.
So he went from world class to crap in less than 6 months. No, come on.
No, because
Come on, Wilson.
Hey, then go watch the videos that we recorded
you're-
here. You guys all said he was crap last
He
season.
played terrible, but
Okay.
I never once said he was a bad player.
Fabinho started the season poorly. He was poor mid-season.
Yeah.
But towards the end of the season, he was a lot better. There is no doubt about that. Fabinho played a lot better.
and in turn, what happened?
We know a peak
We played a
Fabinho
lot
is a
better.
fantastic player. Everyone knows. Everyone said we needed an upgrade. No doubt about it. What no one said was, let's get rid of Fabinho and not have anyone right at the same time. The ideal situation was you keep Fabinho and then you bring someone else in to have some competitiveness, to have someone to challenge him.
We got 40 million for Fabinho. That was
but
good business.
Now we go. It's only good.
not
It's
good-
only
it's not
good
good
business.
business. You don't have
if
anyone to replace him.
It's only good business if you have brought someone in that can do that same peak Fabinho. That's the only way it's good business. You can't sell him.
You keep going
and
back
not
to
bring
peak
anyone
Fabinho.
else in.
Fabinho was not peak all last season.
He wasn't.
I know, but that's
No one's saying-
what
he
that was
wasn't
my
saying-
statement. Our midfield is better today than it was at the end of last season.
I
don't have a number 6.
completely disagree.
We don't have a number 6 in this
disagree.
squad. There's not one player that can play number 6.
There was not one player that was running at the end of last season. They couldn't press. Our
Even
team.
if Fabinho couldn't run, he'd still do a better job than any midfielder that we have currently right now. Fabinho would do a better job because he's an absolute number 6.
And that's the point, right?
No way.
Yes, we could potentially
No
sign
way.
someone,
you could
but
be
we
a.
haven't.
You could, if you
I
can't
would-
cover the pitch, you can't play.
You wouldn't love. This is what I would have loved to seen on Sunday go out. Fabinho, Sobis, Dominic, and McAllister. What a fucking midfield trio there. We would have been going in, and you know what? Our conversation would have been totally different. We
Maybe
would have
it
said, you know
would've.
what? We'll go win 3-0, 4-0. We'll absolutely hammer them.
Hey, 2 out of those 3 people are new that we upgraded.
Yeah,
that
I'm
you
not
just
sa-
said.
So I'm not.
That's
saying-
what I said.
I'm
we
not
upgraded our
questioning-
midfield.
No, we did not upgrade our
Yes,
midfield.
we did.
We bought 2 very good players.
They've upgraded our midfield.
We haven't.
Okay, you continue to be the devil on your side.
No,
I'll continue to be the angel.
But there's no way that we can say we upgraded the midfield. We don't even have midfielders.
The
We've
fact
no
is,
number
the bottom
6.
line is, right,
And tell me we haven't
So-
upgraded the midfield with those 2 signings.
so let's simplify this, right? So let's look at the midfielders that we had last season that are gone, okay? And look at the options, because we're looking over an entire season. We're looking at tons of games. We're looking at League Cup, FA Cup, Europa League, Premier League, etc., right? So last season we had Oxlade-Chamberlain, we had Keita, we
They
had
didn't
Milner,
play.
we
They
had
didn't play.
Fabinho. They're options, though. You know, we had
We have
Henderson,
options still.
we had Elliott, etc. Now we go into the season, and yes, did we need improvements on Fabinho? Yeah, we needed someone to improve and challenge him. We haven't got that person yet. Henderson has gone. You could say the replacement maybe is Sobosai. Keita has gone. No real replacement. So we've actually lost. We've lost players where if I was to look at the midfield
You wouldn't have
options,
Jones
if
play-
I was to look at the midfield options last season compared to where we're at now, I think we're in a better shape last season to where we're looking at the moment. Szoboszlai could be great, right? We don't know. McAllister looks like it's going to be a brilliant signing, but the bottom line is we brought in 2 players. We've let go of like 5-6 midfielders.
That didn't play.
And
They never played.
that's a huge issue. But even if we went in, but the fact is, we went into last season knowing, even with all of those players, that we needed additional. We needed on top of that. We needed more players. Now what we've done, we've got rid of those players.
We
And
had
Keita
nine- we had nine
Keita
midfielders going
was a
into
squad
last
member
season.
that did really well in the season where we nearly won the quadruple. Milner was a fantastic option in midfield and at right back. Henderson was excellent
I
the
know.
last 4 months
See,
of last season, and Fabinho was excellent
You're,
last 4
you're
months
getting
of
away
last
from the
season.
point. The point was our midfield
The point
today
is, you think the
better
midfield-
than the midfield that ended the season.
But I completely disagree.
Hey, then that's
I
fine.
completely
There's no-
disagree. I don't think we have the options. We obviously have Thiago. Thiago hasn't had a pre-season, so it's probably going to take him a few weeks to come in. But Jetic, excellent option, but he's been injured as well. So we're going into the season and we have an extremely lack of options compared to what we did last season, and that is the problem. And we want to get back in the.
I'm not
We want
talking
to get
about the
back into
options.
the
I'm talking
Champions
about our
League,
starting
right?
11. You don't think those 2 that are Szoboszlai and McAllister are an upgrade from how we ended the season?
Maybe, but we don't have a number 6.
Oh, now we're a maybe.
We are a maybe.
You don't even know if we're going to play
Potentially,
with a number 6.
We don't know.
We might play 4-2-3-1.
Henderson is a
We
huge.
don't have a 6.
Henderson's a huge loss. If we're basing it on the run that we had towards the end of last season, Henderson and Fabinho did really well, and Jones did really well, and we don't have additional backup. If Szoboszlai is out, if McAllister's injured, who do we have? So I think the fact that we have signed 2 players and we've let go of 8 we've sold, and then Ramsey's gone on loan, Carvalho's gone on loan.
We're not talking about those guys.
But those
I'm
are
talking about
numbers.
our
Those
starting
are numbers.
midfield is
But those
better
are numbers
than what we had at the
within
end
the
of last
squad.
season.
I mean, that's guesswork, right? We don't know that yet.
Well, you don't know
We don't know
anything.
that. We don't know that.
anything yet.
We don't know
man.
that yet. I would pick towards the end of last season's midfield over what we're going to see probably going into the first game of last season. And we can disagree. That's completely fine. But there's
I
no
think you're
doubt
wrong.
whatsoever. We know we lack a number 6, right? We know Fabinho from the majority of last season was poor, and we needed someone either to compete with him or a replacement. Now we don't have anyone.
I don't even know if
And
we're
that's
playing
a
with
big
6.
issue.
You got Trent coming into the midfield. We might just have
Which
this-
is even more of a reason why you need someone in there. Any team that is going to win trophies and be competitive and go for titles, you have to have someone in there that is going to do the work. They're going to get stuck in. They're going to have the energy, and I don't see that.
keyword energy there.
It is
Szoboszlai and
it's
McAllister
extremely
had way more energy than what we had on the pitch last season.
Agreed. No doubt about that.
But-
But there's no way.
But
No, there's no way. They need help. None of them like. Wouldn't you? Instead of fucking pissing about watching McAllister play deep in midfield, Jesus, wouldn't it be great to see him play 15 or 20 yards further up the field? And
And he
slide-
will once Trent comes into the into that midfield from his right back. He will. McAllister will play forward.
So you think it was the plan all along the plan all along? So Klopp's plan going into the season is that he's going to have McAllister kind of in that deeper role, and Trent comes in, and once Trent comes in, then McAllister can wander forward. Is that it?
It's hard to judge from preseason, but McAllister has played deeper and he's played forward when Trent comes in there. So I don't.
Yeah, I think the reason he's played deeper is because there's nobody fucking else.
But then he can play deeper, and then you can put Jones on the left hand side.
Yeah, I don't. I just no.
I'm just
I
saying.
wouldn't subscribe
So
to.
I know
we're
it-
stronger. We're
we've
definitely
been arguing
stronger.
for about 10 minutes
Yeah.
on it. I just think our midfield has more energy and has more technical right now than how
The two
we ended
lads,
the season.
yeah, the two.
So, okay,
I agree.
Let's move on. Then.
Yeah, we can agree on that.
All right.
The two boys that have come in.
Then I'll take
have
that
lot
as a
more-
small victory and let's move on.
So
It's on tape, man.
so we've argued about the midfield for 10, 12 minutes, right? Let's go. We'll go from the back, right? Allison, no worries whatsoever. Obviously, Adrian's still there. Kelleher, there's.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't go.
You know what's going to
He has
happen.
some
Hopefully, he
fans
sticks
over there.
around.
Stick around.
So no issues there.
Back five is set.
Defense. We know that if everyone is fit, we're looking at Trent, we're looking at Canate, we're looking at Virgil, we're looking at Robertson. So that brings me to a couple of things. Trent, we know it's probably gonna do this hybrid midfield thing. Do you see an issue with Robertson at the moment? Because
Yeah, he
if you look
hates
at the assists, you look at how vital Robertson has been for the
robbing
attacking
people to pay off.
aspect of our game. It's been magnificent, and his assists, whatever, it's like right up with the best in the Premier League. But now you nullify that,
You're
and
robbing
he's
people
not
to pay off.
and he's not suited to that position.
And he
Do you,
doesn't
see,
like it.
do you see that as an issue?
Yeah, it is an issue because you're not getting the best out of a world class left back, and then I've always it's no secret. Since day one, I haven't been a fan of the whole Trent hybrid thing. Don't like hybrid shit. Pick one. Either put him in midfield or leave him at right back, and end the story. But yeah, you're kind of, as I say, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. You're kind of taking away from Robertson's prowess going forward, ripping down that left line. You know, when he's on fire, he's one of the world's best, at least one of Europe's best left backs. You don't get to see that when Trent pushes in and they all shift this way. He's playing as kind of a tree. To me, he's kind of, and I mean, he may get better, you know, as the season progresses, if they do stick with that and he kind of gets used to it. But he to me, he looks a little bit lost, and he just doesn't look like he enjoys it. He enjoys it as much as bombing down that left flank. So,
Would you say as well? So we've signed a player in Soboslai that can do a lot of what Trent does. Like, he's brilliant with dead ball situations. Like, he's extremely creative. Where previously we haven't had that. Henderson was in that position, so Trent would come in and he'd be that creative player. Now you have Soboslai, so you don't necessarily need Trent because you are creating more problems as well with Trent going. And if you've noticed, I don't know if you've seen the preseason games, they're tending to take up the same positions as well. So I feel like the Trent going into midfield, because you have someone as creative as Soboslai, isn't as needed, and it's certainly hurting Robertson on the left. Plus, you're providing more work for Canate as well in the defence, where he's covering all this extra space.
yeah,
So-
I agree with that. That's one of the major standouts for me, was that when you have Soboslai and Trent in that sort of area, they tend to be right next to one another, and you're kind of looking at them going, toes are picking up the same positions, looking for the same balls. Now, what I will say is, Trent can spot a pass, and he's absolute mustard.
Oh, yeah.
Soboslai, it remains to be seen if
Yep.
he's got that eye and he's able to really tread that ball the way Trent can do it. So we'll see that in time. But I agree. I would be more inclined to bring Trent back towards the more traditional right back role. Let Robertson go back to his more traditional left back role, bombing up and down that wing, and then let Soboslai kind of pick up the ball in that sort of Trent area. And let's see what he can do. I definitely would go with that against Chelsea on Sunday, because I think they'll exploit that. They'll exploit that gap.
Interesting about that, because I feel like Trent and Robbo, they're always previously been like top 5 in assists, right? Both those fullbacks,
Yeah.
because they've always bombed up, and they've always played with 3 in the back. When one guy bombs up, they're supposed to shift over, right? And I think what's happened is last season, at the end of last season, is that Van Dijk and just wasn't Van Dijk, right? To the levels that he was covering that space that was left open. Because if Trent comes in, they attack that space. But that they've always done that with Trent. And when Robbo bombs up, they attack that space.
Yeah,
but what I've seen is that Robbo has made poor decisions defensively where he would step up when he doesn't need to step up, and he leaves that space behind. And that's what I have seen at the end of last season when playing this hybrid in preseason as well. He steps into the midfield and then they put the ball behind him. And I don't know why he does that, because it just creates a space. And I think that's something they have to work out, right?
Yeah, and I think that a lot of that comes down to, and I know that I definitely spoke a lot about this kind of in defense of players last season.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that kind of
because we didn't have legs in the midfield.
No. Well, so I think a lot of that comes from up top, and it all starts to trickle down. And I think, and I firmly believe these guys are coached and trained to the yard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're precise. This is where you need to be. And the minute one steps out a line and is not where he's supposed to be, there's a big waterfall effect then. And teams are that good now, especially the top teams in the English league, can exploit people being a yard and a half out of position. And I just think...
And I agree with you there.
Yeah.
And that at that level, 1 or 2 yards of positioning makes a difference.
It makes a world of difference.
So that moves us. That moves us onto the front of the team, where everything in the past, what's been key to the success of Liverpool, Firmino, that he's been like the anchor up front. Everything's gone from that. Firmino's gone. It looks like Gakpo potentially is the natural successor. If I look at our squad, I look at our first team. To me, up front is the least of our worries. I can see plenty of goals, plenty of options.
No worries. We're going to be super exciting to watch.
I can see us scoring a lot of goals, potentially conceding a lot, but up front,
it's
we're
Brendan
going into it
Rodgers
pretty well, right?
all over again, right?
I think right now, if you look at it, then you're looking at who guarantees starts. Well, it's going to be Salah on the right, and then up front. At the moment, it's probably Gakpo is your best option. Left, toss up between Diaz and Nunez. Diaz and Jota, I should say. With Nunez, we'll see. Nunez could be amazing. We don't know what's going to happen with Nunez.
Jota's so good up front too.
But Jota is such a poacher, and he's been excellent pre-season. His concerns, obviously, has always been injuries. But how do you feel? How do you feel about the front five options?
I couldn't be happier. You know, you've got arguably a player that can be, well, I mean, who knows? Maybe Haaland will score another 50-odd goals. But barring he does that, we've got a player that we know that can really compete for the Golden Boot in Salah. Yeah. Every year he's done the business. Even when we haven't been at our best, he's produced and scored goals. So no problem there. Gapco took him a little bit to get going. It was, you kind of felt sorry for him. It was. It came into a team that wasn't firing on all cylinders, but by the end of the season, you were looking at him going, "Oh man, I can't wait to see him next season."
He's an elegant player, isn't he?
Yeah, Jota, Diaz.
He kind of reminds me of Bergkamp.
Yeah,
I know.
He does. He's got a little bit.
I mean, the more I saw of him, the more
he's quality. He's a quality player.
Absolute quality.
Especially when he drops deep. He transitions that ball. He turns on in the midfield and transitions up, and he's deceptively quick, right? And they're trying to tackle him, and he's pushing it on. But like to your point, we have so many options up front,
and we haven't even spoken about Nunez.
Well, that's the thing. Nunez. You have reliable options.
He doesn't like Nunez.
No, I didn't say that. What I'm saying is you have reliable options, and then you have the surprise that you're not sure what's going to happen. So if you look at the
chaos, right?
If you look at the reliable Salah, right? I would put Gakpo. You know we're going to get out of him, and I would put Jota in that as well. I think those three, you know where you're going to get out of those three. Diaz could be amazing, right? Diaz to one aspect, you know what you're going to get out from him. He's going to be on the left-hand side, he's going to cut in on the right, and he's going to shoot. Right? And you would hope he's going to add more to his game. But when he's playing well and he's confident, he's a magnificent weapon. Nunes is a confidence player. He's wild, he's crazy. You know what you're going to get out for him. But the fact is, at the moment, he's like 5th choice. And Nunes, in a way, you have to kind of devote your team to the way he plays. But you look at it as a whole, that's like fantastic options that you have there. And I think
there's another little fella. There's another little
yeah, for our buddy Jono.
There is.
For our buddy Jono, right?
Yeah.
Mr.
Dope Meister.
Yeah. Mr. Dope.
Yeah.
What a star this lad could be.
He looks like a proper little player, doesn't he? And
He skinned some people, didn't he?
He is the classic on the bench. You're 1-0 down, 85th minute. Bring him on. He's probably going to play for 25 more minutes with them.
He
added injury time. But yeah, I mean, Doak looks an amazing talent. But yeah, you add to that, not forgetting Elliot as well. Elliot can play in the Salah position as well. So
Elliot.
So going forward, attack-wise, fantastic options. So
well, let me stop you there.
stopped.
You're not going to play Elliot for Salah when you have Doak. Doak is.
I mean, it depends. Again, it's an option, isn't it?
Right. But
it's an option.
But we're also talking about a 17-year-old being
exactly.
on the bench.
So
it's just he's exciting though, man. I love watching him play.
It's essentially circling it back that we have a lot of options going forward,
of course, yes,
which is really good. So, what's your expectations like right now? Looking at the squad, we are lacking in certain areas.
So let me say. So last year we had a good offense. Our defense was not good, and that had a lot to do with the midfield. Granted, right? I think we've got some more runners in the midfield, without rehashing all that. But what has to happen is Van Dijk has to be better. Konate has to be better.
That's where I was going to head.
Right?
Yes, I
so,
think.
Because Van Dijk last year was subpar. This preseason, he looks quicker on the ball. He looks a little bit more tuned in. His positioning's a little bit better. And hopefully he can carry that in the season. Because last season, nobody was even scared of him. They were going at him. And he was off, I would say, 2 yards. Not just 1 yard. He was off 2 yards.
An informed, confident, fit Van Dijk, quality centre back with any top team. Mm-hmm. You need a centre back that has that, and it's no surprise to anyone that Virgil last season was way below. Whether that's due to the amount of games or the injury catching up with him, but I think whether it's the midfield, goalkeeper, attack, anything, I think Virgil, a fit, confident, brilliant Virgil is key to everything. He is obviously he is the new captain, taking over from Henderson.
Sure. Deservedly so.
And it's a question mark over Virgil. We'll see. Yeah, he's been good in pre-season, but it's pre-season. It's hard to say, but I completely agree with you.
All right, bottom four, or bottom three, I should say, relegation. I'm going with Luton, Sheffield United, and Wolves. And I think the top four is going to be Man City, Arsenal, United, and Liverpool. And I'm going to say the dark horse of the season and going to win a European trophy is going to be Aston Villa.
My bottom three are going to be the promoted teams are going straight back down. And my top four are Liverpool, Manchester City, Arsenal, and United. And that's the way it's going to be.
Liverpool going to win the league, huh?
Oh yeah, I told you I'm an eternal optimist.
Well done. Okay, so Man City, Arsenal, Newcastle, Liverpool. That's my top four. To go down, I think it's going to be Sheffield United, Luton, Wolves, and that's pretty much our prediction show. So we'll see what happens, and we'll come back to this at the end of the season and see what we got right, what we got wrong. We've probably got a lot wrong, but make sure you subscribe, make sure you like the Liverpool Connection podcast. Cheers and have a good one.